Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Destiny 2. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and salutations. Today, it's the Shattered Throne. Let's get to it. With this week's reset, you have a new mission that you can do, or attempt to do, called the Shattered Throne. In order to get to it, you'll have to get to the Confluence. Now, as of this point, or just before the reset I should say, there were 3 access points to the Confluence, going through the gardens, going through the Spine of Kyries, and going through Harbinger's. So choose one of those and get to the Confluence. You get to this area here, where all of a sudden you have a beam coming down from the ceiling down to the floor. And you'll see that there is an Awoken there next to a large portal-looking device. Talk to the Awoken.
For more than 2 weeks, I have watched a sickness consume my city.
And they say,
My
go ahead and go
have
in.
Been laid low by this infection.
Go over by
This
the portal,
ugly
and
wish.
that is where you can start
I am
the mission.
So hungry for vengeance. The well has opened the
Now,
gateway.
before we get
May the
into
Queen's
the
will
details
protect
about the
you.
mission,
And
there are
Guardian, if the
2
walls
things
begin
in the
whispering,
first area that I
do
want to
not
draw your
listen.
attention to. First is that there is a piece of lore that you can only get if you're Ascendant. You'll need to go over to the Tower of the Sky. You'll need to use your potion, and then you'll be able to see platforms on the outside of that tower. Climb up all the way to the top of the tower, and you'll find a piece of lore on the dome. Secondly, Toland is in this area, plus other areas. You just have to find him. In this area, he is by the Tower of the Initiate on the outside. There are some gravity wells around him, so you will need to be careful when you go over to talk to him. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, what in the world do you do for this first part? The labyrinth, the maze, whatever you want to call it. So when you start off, in the beginning area. You go across a bridge and you see enemies. As far as this goes, you will need to be 550 to start this mission and 570 plus to finish it. So if you're 550, does that mean you should not do it at all? That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, in order to have a chance at completing it all the way through, you will need to be 570 or above in order to get to the first major boss. And have a chance to kill him, you will need to be 570. So you can get up to the boss being 550, but you won't be able to kill that first boss or mega boss or whatever you want to call him until you hit 570 plus. When you get there, the recommended power level is 590.
Now conscience
So in order for it to be a fair fight, you should be 590. If you want the challenge, if you want to go for it, 570 is a good marker to try for. So at each instance here, you are going to have a bunch of ads, and you're going to have a boss called the Labyrinth Keeper. Now when you kill that guy, he will spawn a symbol. And what you'll want to do is you'll want to look for that symbol in the maze, and that will be where your next step is. So it is a maze or a labyrinth, not in the sense that it is a physical maze, but because you have to go and make lots of turns and twists and turnarounds in order to get to the next section. And as we've already seen, there are a couple of surprises in the maze in terms of lore and in terms of Tallend. Now, if you finish this out, and before you get to the next section, if you check out the area while Ascendant, you may find other surprises as well. Now, as you go along, you'll also find that other spawns, not with the Labyrinth Keeper, will spawn. Other Thrall, both red and orange, and snipers will appear, and they will spawn behind you and in front of you, and same thing with phalanxes. They'll spawn and surround you, so it'll be a little bit more difficult to get to where you need to go and stay alive. Now you'll notice if you go down, you have a 45-second timer before you can respawn. So very important that you stay alive, or that your fire team brings you back up. Now, if any point before you kill all the Labyrinth Keepers, if your team wipes out, you will have to start from the very beginning of this. So do not go down, do not wipe, if at all possible. So if you get into a situation where 2 of your teammates are down and you're running around 550, you're going to want to get into a position where you are protected, where you're hidden, where you're not going to take damage until your teammates can come up, or if you have a clear avenue to pick them up, pick them up. Now, if you are a lower level, you will want to take care of the adds in these encounters quickly, and then deal with the boss. It'll just help your overall odds if you can take out the adds first, and then you can focus on the boss second. So go through these different areas, and you keep going, and you get a new symbol, until you get the symbol of the eagle or the falcon diving. Now, once you see that symbol, you'll go back to the beginning of the area where you started, right across the bridge. And that will be your last boss for this area before moving on to a new area. Incidentally, this boss will also drop powerful gear. So once you kill him, it'll drop powerful gear, and if you're at 550, it is going to drop around 10 points higher. So it is certainly worth doing, if only to get that powerful gear. And then if you want, you can leave. If you want to continue on, you can. Additionally, this first area holds the first charge orb. And the first charge orb is for the Wish Ender quest. In order to get the Wish Ender quest, you will have to finish the Shattered Throne, and then go to the Four-Horn Gulch, and then come back here and do the charges and kill some extra bosses. So if you're 570 plus, you're going to want to go ahead and complete this and then start the Wish Ender quest so that you can start on that quest and get it finished and get that exotic bow. Alright, so once you get to the next area, this is, unlike the first area, pretty linear. You follow it down to a bridge that goes down, and then off to the left-hand side there are enemies. So you'll jump down on one of the ledges here, you can take them out. And like I said, depending on what your light level is, will determine What weapons you'll want to use. If you have a scout rifle and a sniper rifle, that would probably be best if you're running around 550. You'll want to keep these guys at arm's length or beyond. You go down and there's snipers around the corner on multiple tiers. There are enemies, minotaurs that are going to rain down fireballs on you. And I believe the recommended light level for this area is 580. So even more difficult than the first area at 570. So once you take care of the acolytes and the knights and the snipers, you can move forward a little bit, and then there's going to be some taken minotaurs. And of course, all these guys up on platforms, they kind of move around, so they don't stand in one spot. So you might look up at a platform and not see anything, but then 2 seconds later they'll come around and they'll start shooting you. Move on from there. There's a taken phalanx that wants to throw you off the cliff. And then you're getting close to the next boss, or the boss for this area. Take a knight with a solar shield. Like I said, if you're running around 550, it's going to be a tough fight. If you can spread out and take down a shield and just one person do a little bit of damage, keep that shield down on them. And if you come into a situation where you've got 2 people down, just stay alive. Yeah, just be aware of snipers as well. And the knight does have pretty good mobility and range. He will be able to follow you into different areas of this part of the map. So just whittle them down until you take them out. Once you take them out, the door will open for the next area. This area you'll want to, again, use your scout rifle, sniper rifle. There's lots of phalanxes, knights, and snipers all around the room. So just continue, work your way up slowly. Take them out a little bit here, a little bit there, until you get them all taken out. Once you get them all taken out, then you can go on to the next area, which is, you can call the beam area or the ogre area, because there are beams across most of the area, and there are orange ogres that spawn as you proceed through the area. So once you get into the area, there'll be a couple spawns of ogres, and then as you move forward, there'll be more spawns, more ogres as you go along until you get to the door. Additionally, this is where the relic is. So as far as we know, there are 3 charges and 1 relic in this area. And it's right where that first ogre went down. And you'll definitely want to take out the ogres before you proceed, because each ogre will knock you off the beam with its eye gaze. So not only is it dangerous because of level, it's dangerous because it'll knock you off.
War above and trickery below, all within a city built for navigation. The unholy trinity.
Now the relic here can go into the statue on the right hand side of the room if you're looking forward towards the door. So you just put it there. Don't really know what it does. Once you get to the door, you will be hit by a slow effect. You lose your double jump, triple jump, whatever, and you cannot sprint. You can only walk. So max out your mobility, especially if you're running around 550. If you're at a higher level, you can take out the spawns as you go along.
Guardian down.
Now, if you die at this part, you'll just go back to the doorway, so you can just try again. If your entire team wipes out, you don't have to hang back. Incidentally, this is where the next charge is at. As soon as you go in the door, there's an alcove on the right-hand side. Pick it up, and once you get past the slowed area, you can put it into the statue on the right-hand side. Just go through, there you go, and the statue's on the right. So once you get to this area, then your objective is to cross the chasm. You can go low or you can go high. We found 2 different ways that you can go. Either one works, not a big deal, but there are enemies along the way and enemies blocking the next area. Go into this building and you'll drop down and you'll get to the first super boss fight of the dungeon crawler of Shattered Throne. What you'll want to do for the fight is be 570 plus. If you're 550, this is where your journey ends. This is as far as you can go. If you're 570 plus, you're going to want to kill the ads first, and then kill the petition, the keeper of petitions. Each one will drop an orb and give you a buff. Once you get all 4, you will get a burden. Damage the ogre. When the burden starts to time down close to 0, one of you will need to go to one of the 4 glowing pillars in the middle to get rid of it. And then just rinse and repeat until you take him out. He'll drop a powerful item, and then you can move on to the last part. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to ring the bell before you leave to be notified of all future episodes as soon as they go live. And thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And we'll see you next time.
Guardian down. Guardian down. Guardian down. Guardian down.